Good evening. Welcome to the last in our series of budget presentations in the budget development cycle. Tonight is the final step prior to the budget vote. And this is the budget hearing in which our Lisa Weeks will present a high-level overview, and we will take some questions from the public. If you are attending via Zoom, there's a Q&A section in there. You can put your comment in there, and when we get to that point, we will read them. So I'll turn the meeting over to Lisa for presentation of the budget.
Okay.
I'll share.
We can go to the next slide.
Hang on.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. So this year, as we've already talked about, there are 3 things that the voters will vote on, and that is the adoption of the school district budget that the board has approved to put out there to vote. We have a proposition for 2 school buses and the election of 2 board members to the Board of Education for 3-year terms. And we'll go through a little bit of the details on each of those items. So the voting this year, we're happy to say, will take place in person again at the Foothills. And that will be our normal voting procedure that we've had in the past, except last year. Absentee ballots for registered voters have been mailed. If you feel that you can't go to the voting site and you need an absentee ballot, feel free to contact our district clerk in the district office. And she can help you out with that. The ballots have to be returned by 5:30 on May 18th. And they are available to contact the district clerk if you think that you need an absentee ballot and haven't received one already. Okay, next. So those are the procedures. The budget, just a big overview, is $42,112,198. That is about 1.169 increase in spending, and that equates to 2.86%. Next. So the proposition that is on there, and if you voted in our district before, you've seen this proposition. We separate the buses out, and this is to replace old buses that are in excess of 10 years old. We actually have a couple off the road now that this will replace. The cost will be bonded, and it will be spread out over 5 years, and that will align with our state transportation aid, which we'll get in the neighborhood, we think, of about 65% back on those buses. Our transportation aid ratio, I'm happy to report, has gone up a couple percentage points, so that will help us as well. Some of the mileage that's not allowable will bring the aid down, and that's where the 65% is coming from. So that's why that's not a direct match. Next. So the board candidates, the deadline for the petitions was April 28th, so that has passed. The board candidates that you will see on the ballot, Susan Krunkowski, she's on it, and Michael Iannelli, and you also have the opportunity to write in a board candidate. Next. So just in general, what this spending plan does is it maintains the current position. So any retirements or anything like that will be replaced. It also adds a special education position. It provides a summer school program. And you may recall last year we had cut out a lot of hardware and the instructional equipment, maintenance equipment, things that we need. So that's kind of suffered this year. So you've seen we've used a lot of technology this year, and we do really need to keep that equipment current to teach our students. So that this does include the reinstatement of the instructional equipment, hardware replacement, and some maintenance equipment. Next. So this is just a visual of our budget spending plan. You can see that the great majority, as it should be, is spent on program at 77%. And we have capital, that's our buildings and grounds, debt service, things like that, that's at 15%. Our administrative is at 8%. Next. So we've been through the budget details several times, multiple times. We've been through it at the finance committee meeting. You may recall last finance committee meeting we had at 7 o'clock. Which is different than our usual 3:30, to give people who may not be able to make it at 3:30 an opportunity to still attend. So we've, varied the times. We've had it presented at the board meeting in more detail. And if you're missing those details, or if you want to go back, you can find more details on our website. So you can go to OCSD.org, and then under district budget, district business office, I'm sorry, and then you'll see on the right, it says budget info, or you can also go down on the right of our website and take a shortcut to our community, and that'll bring you to the same place with the budget information. So there are a couple ways you can get to it. And what is included on our website is our budget booklet, which is a 35-page document, has a lot of information in there. It's got the message from our superintendent, board members, the budget components, and that shows comparisons to prior year, and it has our property exemption impact report, property tax report card, and our statement of superintendent's compensation, which actually isn't due yet, and the school district report card, which is a little bit behind because of the current year, so we used the last one that was available. Our property tax report card is included there, and that's in the budget booklet, but it's also separated out. That has been transmitted to the New York State Education Department, and that's a comparison to prior year. It also has some fund balance information and some reserve information. The previous budget presentations that I just referenced, there are some PowerPoints that we've done at various meetings throughout the budget process. They're available on our website. Our property tax cap calculation is there, and that has been submitted to the comptroller's office. That is due March 1st. So that will go through the whole process and everything that goes into the property tax cap, which for this current upcoming budget, it is 0.39%, and that's where we intend to stay at the 0.39%. So it's under 0.5%. The budget proposal revenues is a 12-page document, and that has details of last year compared to the budget that we're proposing. It also has about 5 years of history for actual revenues. And we have the same thing for the appropriations. There are 17 pages worth of account codes on my copy. So there's a lot of information there that we don't go through every single number at the meeting, but it's 50 pages of expenditure details and comparisons. So we would encourage you to go there and look at that. And that will tell you the kinds of things that are in each budget code as well. The budget newsletter has been mailed. If you're a district resident, you should have received that. And then we also have our school district budget notice, it's called the 6-day notice, so that'll be mailed next week. So a lot of information out there. Things have been mailed to homes. So there's been a lot of opportunity, I think, to look through our budget and get the details. And I think that's all I have for now. I guess we'll open it up for questions.
And again, if you join late from the public side, you can go to the Q&A at the bottom and put a question in there. There currently are no questions. Wait a minute or two. If anyone here has one.
I have more of a comment. As you can imagine, this was a tremendously difficult budget cycle. Beginning last year, the state created so much uncertainty relative to school funding, that it was very difficult to plan. And then, when you would plan, then things would change and you would have to reevaluate the plan. bottom line, through it all, Lisa's done a great job of balancing all of this and all of the information that has come from the states and the federal government. So I just want to thank you for your hard work on this.
I'll echo that. It's
Thank
been a tough
Collective
process
effort.
and we appreciate it.
The whole team.
Well, since there are no questions from the public, we can end our budget hearing and we will resume with our regular board meeting beginning at 6 p.m. Thank you.